I know we haven't seen maybe everything from their opponents quite yet, but it's no surprise to see Joey, Emiya, and Patience out here. They're a great three-person team, but Joey, that's my player to watch as we get started with this match. Another best of 5 that either ETHS or Hopkins can run away with a win for.
It's a great player to look out for, though. Joey here did not start the evening on the pitch, but certainly has made a fantastic showing and effort here for ETHS. Patience now trying to set up Emwa and gets enough of a piece of that ball towards the bottom corner that it does connect. And Evanson up in front early here, stretching every bit of that octane to get a piece of it as Emwa. First goal, ETHS.
Well, that's exactly what you got to expect out of ETHS today, is the fact that if they're going to get that ball across the face of the goal, there's going to be someone attacking the goal line and ensuring that they get a scoring chance. That's the type of play style that they play. It's aggressive, it's in your face, but it's beatable. Hopkins with a controlled effort here, and one that maybe is quick to the punches of ETHS, have a chance to move them back. We even saw Hopkins at a Game 5 scenario in the last series. Can they hold it together to try and extend the series? They can. Rember with a great save.
Pressure being felt here, though, for Hopkins, looking to redirect some of that energy back the other side, but one missed touch opens a window that Patience is not fast enough to capitalize on, and Fresh goes through here into the corner as we've seen these teams lock up in that area time and time again, but nothing coming to fruition here just yet for Hopkins, still kept out as now Joey takes to the skies, looking for more, blocked away. Good pushes here from Hopkins, but looking to convert that on target, still not quite successful just yet. And the defense stands strong for ETHS. Big saves. Emwa recording another one as well as Fresh goes back, and the action does not stop here.
Oh my god, so close. That one could have been the equalizer for Hopkins, but instead it kicks right off of the crossbar. Rember and the Hopkins squad, though, they are taking a concerted effort back down the field. Joey is there to leap for the save and get a second touch as well. Very quick to the punch here, beating out the defenders of Hopkins in order to get another chance on offense, but Patience being just that, sitting on the goal line and allowing for other players to meet the ball before it reaches that point of view. Oh no, it is a roll one. I never suspected it. Patience and Emiya, true to the unwritten rules of Rocket League, and giving Hopkins their best chance to open up the scoring.
Okay, you know, I look at that one and I think typically you've got rule ones between opponents, and, you know, it's a thing of honor to hold that. I've never really seen a held rule one between teammates, and I'm not sure if that's necessarily, you know, the wisest move, but, you know, it's all fun and games, the rule one, everything like that. Hopkins even up the game, you know, it's not over yet, 2 minutes to play, but certainly if you end up dropping this one in close fashion for ETHS, you kind of look back at it and you think, okay, 5 rounds of Swiss, game differential kind of means something here. If we drop even one game to Hopkins but still win the series, was it worth it, you know, to show off in net back there? But ETHS, they don't look too keen to let speculation run its course. They want this second goal just as bad as Hopkins does.
See, I don't think there's ever a question or a regret about it, Galgan. They're playing a long game here. When you play to the favor of the Rocket League gods, those boost spawns are timed just perfectly for you. Those spawns after the demolitions position you just right on the impending play. You've got to play in favor of whatever could be at stake in this Rocket League game, and I truly believe that sticking to a roll one, no matter what way it shows up, working in favor of ETHS. This team's ready to play no matter in what regard that means as we reach the final minute of gameplay. Joey with the drifting backwards maneuver to make that save. Very stylish there to contend on defense. Patience, maybe not so much. Ball off the crossbar. Joey with a save and another one from Enya. ETHS, when they've got all players playing defense, they look unstoppable, but not at this point. Fresh does find the dagger.
Massive goal to score there. If that ball went back the other way into ETHS's offensive zone, Hopkins would have been banging on the desk there wondering what went wrong, as that opportunity was a surefire one. Could not find the power initially, but what a way to get that goal for Fresh now. And Hopkins, they take advantage and they run to the hills with it. Hopkins get their third. Rember from the sidewall, air dribble over one. Final touch is a nice lob placed right under the bar and towards the post. Hopkins up by 2 with 31 to play.
Gotta say, this unlocks quite a bit of potential for this Hopkins team, exhibiting aerial control like that from Rember. Foreshadows almost more scoring plays for them, but as soon as you think this game could be over and done with, Joey's got different ideas. Beats the ball, or beats the defenders to the punch on the ball at the midfield, takes it all the way. Galgan, we've got a 1-point game.
It's tough there too, because Grod sitting at the net there, and then you have the rotation in from Fresh for the big boost, trying to get that one to make a save, but the speed is already in the hands of ETHS. But now forced back into their own zone with about 10 to play. Goal line push here from Joey, blocked out immediately, and a benevolent bounce from the corner wall for Hopkins to control this play. Final seconds, tick off the clock. Ball has to stay aerial from here, but it's played into an open spot, and Hopkins, very wise decision there to not keep that ball alive any farther. They do find the game 1 victory, and Pyro, now we can start to have that Rule 1 conversation, eh? Because it's a close win here for Hopkins. How much do you think ETHS really sits there and regrets that decision, if they do at all?
Not one bit, not at all. See, a Rule 1 that is held. This is the unwritten rules, Galgan. Okay, this is a chance for education here. That favor from the Rocket League gods will pay off for ETHS throughout this entire series. Like I said, they're playing the long game here. Patience and Enya, who better of the players to just sit in that locked Rule 1 and have a front row seat to a great shot from their opposition, okay? It's also a great way to analyze their opponent's play style, see exactly how they're taking their shots. You can't ask for a better seat. Get your popcorn, get your soda, and just watch that ball go in. They may have a game against them now, but they are so well positioned to take it to them. Admittedly, though, Galgan, we are seeing a great series from Hopkins and a great display as to why they made a Game 5 appearance in their last match. It's a good challenge, I'll say that much, for these two teams.
Yeah, that's a lot of confidence as well for ETHS to have this comeback. I back them as one of the squads that would be able to get it done here, but Hopkins have surely shown us that they have the mental as well to keep that momentum going. They seem to find their way through. Grod, I'm going to settle on Grod here, with enough patience to take that opportunity away. Rember now playing from the side wall, as they're all too familiar with, and Grod will take over looking for more, but it's this constant pressure coming out from Hopkins, getting to these challenges, making sure that Evanston do not have any open lanes to find these clears through, meaning that they're forced to take the slower touches out of the corner, jump for this ball early, but that is a solid touch from Joey to open up some space. Midfield wall goes Emwa, centering pass blocked out yet again, and Hopkins playing proactive defense here. It is certainly serving them well in the opening minute of Game 2.
Yeah, they're transitioning this already to the other side. Shot goes just off the mark. Joey with the counterattack here. Remember, just barely getting a touch on that ball. I will say, moving into this match, that Joey was my player to watch, but Rember not so slowly becoming the player to usurp that title. I think of the air dribbles on the quick reactions from the save there. He's coming out to be a star-studded performer in this matchup. Very impressed with their efforts in this game so far. That being said, still 0-0 between these two teams in this game, as ETHS, no matter how close it comes, still able to find a way to fend off these shots.
Hopkins, though, doing a solid job of sending Evanston into a twist here and a frenzy. Joey demoed. Grodd up in the air. Low boost gets the flip reset anyway, but it's left itself open to Patience, who gets this to the back wall. Pick up from the bottom corner, not there. Second touch as well as another save away. Joey trying to center up again, but blocked on Emwa's attempt. Patience demoed forward play there from Grodd to try and open up the lane, and Fresh takes the opportunity. The double up there from ETHS will at least see somewhat of a clear away, but we're really starting to see the crucial factor of the speed at the middle of the field. Rember notches a demo here for Hopkins, but Joey has to do it on the other end just to keep this play alive. All of a sudden, stretching back and forth here, these teams go. Emwa trying to play that one away from the defense, but ends up playing it away from the net entirety. The Hopkins see their way out of that near halftime opportunity for ETHS.
Demos are playing a massive factor in this game as well. You see Hopkins having to play out their last resources, whether it be a container boost that's still left that's going to be picked up there, or just one last player that hasn't been demoed off the field. Still, though, they're able to act resiliently and get these balls to safe territories like that touch from Grodd into the corner. A massive clear as well from Rember will shift the tides, the focus of this game. Despite the demo from Fresh, it's still Hopkins to just be on the charge here. Clear out to Joey, who tries to get that second touch, is not quite there. Fresh around the corner, Emwa to contain it, but only for a moment. Minimal boost to work that ball out to the other end of the field. 0 still across up the score line here. Couple goose eggs, and it could be that we have I want to say our first 1-0 victory on broadcast, Galgan. I don't think we've had a game where it's just 1-0, but maybe it is just that one punch through to the back of the net that wins this game too.
We have seen this position before, though, with the team trailing early in the series, but keeping Game 2 close to the end, and you'd like to think that it favors ETHS's opportunities to get back in, but Hopkins won it just as bad. Flip reset does not come through. Final 60 seconds, though, do ring out as a warning for 1 minute remaining and counting for these players. Emwa demoed after making the touch, leaves it open for Fresh. Zoe, though, who gets the challenge through the read, knew exactly where that ball was falling. 48 to play, and Hopkins, courtesy of Fresh Zoe and Grodd, doing a little bit of work out of the net there, get their first goal.
Octane, not the biggest car on the field, but that was a massive 50-50 from Fresh Zoe, who actually has another opportunity working off of this kickoff. Joey does stay behind the ball, but luckily for them, Fresh does not get the touch they're looking for. We did see some late game antics from ETHS to try and close the scoring gap in the last game. Can they manage one goal here? It will be the first for them, or do Hopkins have this lead? It's a pass over the Patience. The shot just gonna act wide as Fresh does get in front of it, working at the ball from every end of the field, almost getting the second touch there for the shot as well. As we trickle down, it is the final moments of this game. 10 seconds on the clock now, and Emwa just trying to keep this ball away. Patience, minimal boost to work this ball out. Joey, the last hope now for ETHS, keeps the ball alive off of the backboard. Patience doesn't get the touch. Ball still rests up, but Joey bumped out of the zone. This ball centered. Patience, Emwa, both up on it. Joey, shot top corner, rings down to the goal line. It doesn't get closer than that. Joey, the clinicality, missing by just the thinnest of margin, and they lose that game, Gaugen, by a hair.
That ball is more than halfway in the net, and every single touch from Joey at the end of the game was efficient. It was in a very solid position. If Joey's touch wasn't the one that was ending up on target, it was forcing someone from Hopkins to put it on target for them to try and shoot. So that's exactly what you want in the 0-second situation, but such an unlucky break. If that shot is a few pixels farther to the left, we're talking about overtime in that game, which is still a good sign here for ETHS, but they're down 0-2 in the series. If they want to go back to Champions Field, they've got to get the reverse sweep going. And against this Hopkins side, which seems to be winning the speed battle ever so slightly, certainly going to be a difficult task to overcome for ETHS, but it does feel like, right, with Joey finding that shooting form, it's only a matter of time before the rest of ETHS steps up to that level and you get a true triple threat that Hopkins will have to contend with earlier on in the game than the closing moments.
Well, we might see that shot clinicality come out from Joey as it seems to progress to a better and better state as the series goes on. That game just so close, winding down to the final seconds. And, you know, maybe I am ready to have that Rule 1 conversation again, as I would expect the friendly rule to work in the favor of ETHS there at that moment. But instead, it is Hopkins to get the lead right back. It doesn't take him long. It's Rember, a very nice angle at the center court.
And I feel like we're going to see a pretty big pace shift in Game 3, considering the fact that we've gotten the early goal this time and not left it to some of the closing moments. I believe 48 seconds left in regulation when that first goal from Hopkins was scored in Game number 2. So certainly different mentality coming into this Game 3 from ETHS. They've got the deficit set against them early. Hopkins are not going to stop anytime soon. It's a laser that Joey can't get the better of, and Fresh Zoe has scored here for Hopkins. Second goal, beautiful pass, beautiful shot. Can't hit him much cleaner than that.
Dude, Joey, I mean, it's so difficult to play a meteor strike of a shot like that in that situation, and no shame in having to end up that one going by, because Hopkins, they were just working up to that pressure to be more advanced in that situation. When you look at this Hopkins team, and Fresh Zoe especially, it's hard not to be fearful of what's to come. Not only their shot taking, but as well how much they've been able to bat away the ball from any shot that percolates for ETHS. They've continued a scoring drought on the side of ETHS, a full game's worth, and now about a minute 30 in Game 3. ETHS, they've got to find a way to end this drought.
This is so often what we've seen, though, of the matches thus far. Teams getting very confident, continuing that run of form. This one goes just wide. Patience trying to be not so patient in the corner, win a challenge outright, but instead Grodd gets it past two, and now with a little help from their friends is pushing this one further for Hopkins. This one sure to end up right in front, but Joey with a good backboard denial to keep this one moving. Unfortunately, a bit too far extended. Now ETHS trying to put themselves out of position just to keep possession in their hands. Still 3 minutes to play, but ETHS forced to make defensive scrambles happen out of thin air here. Hopkins caught up on each other, though, and this is the opportunity you want to see ETHS take advantage of. They can't push the ball on target fast enough, so forced over to the side. Rember looks for a clear, but all of a sudden the needle, considerate, threaded, patience, sends it home bottom corner, and ETHS have life.
Whew. Well, the miscues from Hopkins, they don't raise their ugly head very often, but that was a lane between the defenders that finally ETHS were able to find. It was hardly even a mistake from Hopkins there, as they didn't have the goal line guarded, but just a very difficult angle for ETHS to find, but they did. And this is still a team who, when the moment arises, they carpe diem their way to victory. And with a goal on the board, finally, that drought has ended. So how can they work off of this confidence boost? Of course, Patience does relinquish one of the players of Hopkins from the stage here, but a double tap coming in, raining down from Fresh. Just when you think this player cannot look better on the field, they pull something out like that.
Oh my goodness, the mechanics on display there to get that ball going. We talked about how difficult that can be to change the ball's course of momentum across the side of the net. That thing running near parallel with the goal line with incredible speed. And Fresh says, hey, you know what, I can still get to it anyway, send it back. Huge flip reset as well. Joey contends to try and take the ball aside, but now it's Grod's turn to come through. No boost though, so leaves it to Joey up in the skies to just sort of take that one down with about as much grace as a car run out of boost. Didn't really have a great analogy for that one, but ETHS still, their defensive stand needs to be that much stronger here because Hopkins with the 2-goal lead, they don't even feel secure with this. They want more. They want that security. They want this sweep. They're going to stop at nothing to try and get it in their hands.
90 seconds for them to ensure that victory indeed as they look to still press up on the offensive. There are those glimmers, moments for ETHS to try and score, but turned back around from them immediately it is from Grod. Save still comes out from Emwa, but this is dangerous. Fresh, Zoe, the shot taken away by Patience, but it's battled back once again. Joey forced up on the backboard, the pass out from Rember over the Fresh shot. Rains out a bit high there. It's been precise on the shot taking recently from Fresh. That one, though, missing the mark. A bit of inconsistency for ETHS to work off of, and Emwa's gonna want that shot back. Maybe they can still make this moment count. Patience ahead of the ball. Grod with a clear, and that opportunity for ETHS is hard to let go.
But they've still got to find more. Time ticking, none of it left to waste here. Closing in on the final 30. Fresh with a big challenge, set towards the bottom corner, but just wide. And now Hopkins can play a little bit more patiently about this one. Patience, though, on the other side of ETHS, trying to drive this one through bottom corner. They're forced to back pass it. Quick turn out of the midfield. They have to keep this ball alive in the offensive zone, and they do just that. But too much space, time, and resources granted to Hopkins to get the clear away. Time ticking down. Final 5 seconds off of the clock here. Joey, one last look, but they get stopped at the back wall. 2-goal differential with 0 seconds on the clock. More importantly, ball on the ground, and Hopkins a sweep victory. Close games in terms of the scoreline, but convincing result for Hopkins. They gain control, they never let it go, and they get a solid sweep here over ETHS.
Solid sweep indeed, very convincing. They imposed a suffocating midfield pressure against ETHS, that which they could not work off of. And then the mechanics from Fresh, Zoe. I mean, this is now my new player to watch. Joey, unfortunately, has to take a backseat here because off those double taps, those air dribbles, Fresh is, well, just that, aptly named. So well done from this squad to get a win over ETHS, who has contended well against the other teams on this broadcast today. They will advance their record of the qualifier day to be better and better to help their seeding for tomorrow.
Absolutely. And for ETHS, you hope there's a bit of a rebound on the other side as they head into round 5. But we are going to be hopping over to another round 4 match to check out how that is transpiring. Round 4, the team to gain a bye being Northern Virginia Community College, their reward for going 3-0 thus far in the Swiss. But we're just waiting to see. It will be the Cavaliers that we head over to watch their series in progress yet again against Hercules, who we saw earlier on as well. That series going on. A couple of the other ones as well of note. Petting Zoo currently playing against XD Esports. We've got a couple others as well. DHS matched up against Huron. So we'll wait to see how those series shake out. But for the time being, we have got this matchup. Herculaneum taking to the blue side here down in the series against those Cavaliers, looking for their victory. Denied of it in Game 5 of the last series, Pyro. But now with the series lead and the game all tied here in the 4th of the series, Cavaliers with a real shot to take home a dub.
Yeah, no, this is great. I love the roundup as well of the other matches that are happening. I feel like maybe XD and Petting Zoo is one that I want tabs or notifications on as that series goes on. But yeah, Cavaliers and Herculaneum. These are teams that we've seen today as well. Cavaliers, you can see, trying to win out on this series, just have been on the misstep on a couple recent efforts, but Herculaneum could be that team that they're able to exceed past. Instead, double OG on the move, jumping past one, and a little bit of a mistouch will unfortunately end up in GG's net.
Tough look there, but the game far from over. It is Herculaneum, though. The Herky Gamers getting out in front here and looking to cement their spot on Champions Field in this matchup. The pressure being exerted from the corners from Mr. Manly Hands, as always, but centered up to no real receivers there on the offensive push. So now we look for more defense. A bit slower to clear this one out for Cavaliers, inviting the challenges in and waiting for Herculaneum to push a bit too far. 2-on-1 if they can convert it, but it turns into a challenge in the middle of the field as the ball was carrying wide of that far post. Now Doubt takes to the skies, has Raid across to try and sneak for this one, but sends it to the corner instead. Could be picked up by somebody else. Couple of whiffs in the middle of the field, but not to be. Herculaneum stay alive out of that sequence as the Cavaliers continue to push for the equalizer here, but every drive met by a wall from Herculaneum.
Yeah, Cavaliers, I mean, listen, they're trying to get some of these offensive pushes moving, but are lacking that consistent long-standing pressure. The possessions are whittled away by players that are rotating all the way back for those containers of boost. The midfield presence just not as suffocating for Herculaneum to be worried at this point in time. If the Cavaliers can't make this bend don't break strategy work out for them at some point during this game in the last 90 seconds, they're going to have to get more aggressive. They're going to have to find themselves be more comfortable or just work outside of their comfort zone with less boost. That is going to be the case for the Cavaliers as they look to close out this series. Otherwise, Herculaneum, despite a couple of whiffs here and there, have held up their defensive line quite well. This waterfall, a bit of a dangerous situation for them off of the top of the ceiling, but they are able to get it away and fend off another great chance on the other end. It's Mr. Manly Hands with the dunk.
The speed here and the big challenge again. GG has been this player of the Cavaliers that tends to be the last one back on defense, and getting beat on a couple of these challenges, just not quite having that read. As we know, these teams tend to go for the back walls. Crossbar denies, though. Bit too happy to take that shot. Cavaliers rush to it, absolutely foaming at the mouth to try and get that one through, and a bit heavy-handed on the shot, but now Doubt with the patience to bait out one. Trying to take it all the way around just to really cement that slow play, but it's GG up again to try and stall out. Instead leaves this up to Weebs right for a shot, and it's blocked aside. 30 seconds or so left. Pyro Cavaliers 2 goals to find to come away and not go to Champions Field for the second time in a row. Can Doubt do it here? Sure enough, there's a chance with 25 to play.
Doubt knows he's gotta get this insane solo play to work, and they work their magic on that play. Fakes one defender, cuts inside on the next, and gives Cavaliers a hope, a chance in this game to maybe send it to overtime. 20 seconds remain on this clock to find another goal. So difficult against this Herculaneum team, but Doubt with another fake picks up a container of boost. This is a 3v2 situation. It could have been lethal, but Doubt on that flick just cannot connect on it. Single digits on the clock now. Raid looking to make advancements down the stage. Doubt with a light touch. This ball could rest on the ground if Doubt can't find the lip from the ground to the wall, and it will not be found. Herculaneum hold on to their lead. 3-2, the final score for them to bring us to Game 5.
The control was there from Doubt earlier on, but just missing in the most crucial moments. Tough that you had to depend on that if you're a fan of the Cavaliers, but certainly it was something they were willing to hedge most of their bets in to try and find that late game comeback. It does not come through, and we will see Champions Field here. But obviously the Cavaliers, with the lead coming out of Game 3 of the series, again, we get into this position where, much like the last series, you've got to back the Cavaliers to be able to make some headway into this Game 5 and hopefully give us one that comes down to the wire. But we saw this story before. The Cavaliers didn't get off to the best start on Champions Field, so trying to shake off some of those demons of the previous series are the Cavs. On the other side, though, certainly looking to deny them that opportunity. We'll see just how this one shakes out. Game 5 underway here to decide the winner of the series. 5 minutes on the clock and a near first opportunity here for the Cavaliers, but they don't get it done. Herculaneum standing strong for now.
Cavaliers, they want to rewrite the narrative of how Game 5s can work for them, and they'll do exactly that. GG opens up the scoring line off of Raid's pass from the backboard, and they're able to crash the boards for their first goal.
Fantastic run of it here. The effort made, 24 seconds expired off the clock, and now the time ticks against Herculaneum to find their form of the previous game and keep this one going. Massive save from Doubt there in the right spot at the right time. Now looking for a conversion on the offensive side. Gets there for the second touch. It is a challenge. Steals the 100 boost. Doing everything here. Racing around the field. But Raid demoed. GG bumped. That leaves Doubt. That leaves no doubt for the goal to be scored. Cavaliers might as well call it the Doubt show at this point. Second goal still within the first minute.
Yeah, Doubt, I mean, above the crossbar, raining down terror and feeling like a step above the competition. We saw them in late game efforts of the last, what was that, game number 4 it was, right? It was the patient maneuvers, the patient plays of the fakes, of the cuts inside, and now Doubt taking off the backboard themselves. Yeah, this is one player who wants to spearhead the approach of the Cavaliers and give them a fighting chance in this match. They've got more than that with a 2-goal lead and still trying to work it down the other end. And Herculaneum, before this game gets away from them, might have to put something on the board.
They've certainly got some boosts in their tanks, though. The materials are there. The shot accuracy needs to follow through here for the Herky gamers. Double OG, nice challenge underneath. Played to the corner, though. GG with a solid clear. Being tasked with a lot of the defensive weight here for the Cavaliers. But over the top, weighed down on the ground are the Cavs defenders as Doubt tries to take this touch. It's a bit unfortunate. Gives it away to Weeb Sprite, who's racing to the box to shoot that one. And Herculaneum have their first goal. First step towards taking this series back for their own hands.
Yeah, that touch from Doubt a little bit concerning, because there's all kinds of plays on the field where you can put that ball off the side wall, you can throw it in the corner, you can even just not touch that ball, and I think it's still a better position than where Doubt ended up putting that. GG almost puts themselves in the best position possible. Oh, Mr. Manly Hands was up on that play for the passing option, but was never taken advantage of, as we see some inconsistencies rise up for the Cavaliers on defense. It does pave the way for Herculaneum to get back in this game, but with Game 5 pressing on, there is still the onus on Herculaneum to close this scoring gap with every touch they try to press forward to just that.
Less than half of the time remaining. Cavaliers pushing for more out of the corner. We get to this neutral state. It doesn't quite look like it all the time, but teams battling for position here. Doubt, that's a massive touch to make. It's opened a lane for Raid to come through. Very narrow area, I might add, but all three defenders relevant, not off the ground. However, the one who is Raid over the top. Cavaliers get a 2-goal lead here, and it's starting to feel solid. This squad is trying to shake off the Game 5 feelings of the previous series and convince themselves that they had this series in their control. It's only a matter of time before the Cavaliers look to close things out.
Yeah, that last Game 5, just an overwhelming defeat, but this Game 5, just not even close to being reminiscent of that. They came in with fire in their belly, and maybe it was that game to kindle that fire into a roaring bonfire that could last them all the rest of this game. 100 seconds on the clock now, and Raid wants to get a read off the backboard, feels backflip, weaves Sprite with a long clear out to GG. Is going to control this ball on the ground, get past the first defender, and almost lose control of the ball, but maintains it. With a touch here, could continue their press forward from one side of the field to the other. Dow trying to set up the double tap here. It rains down right under the crossbar, but Weeb Sprite still takes it away.
We're really starting to see a step up in the mechanics from every player involved in this tournament. Double OG, though, no respect for the slow play from GG, who will look to receive this ball in the middle of the field and laces one to the far side. No second touch, but Doubt will take it, send it high, double tap off the near corner, and if you ever wanted security in a Game 5, no doubt about it, Cavaliers up by 3.
Yeah, that said, I really wanted that double tap goal earlier. I'm just going to do it again. So there you have it. I mean, feed the beast here. This is Doubt just pulling all the weight here. And it is very well supported, I will say, by the rest of the players here on this squad. GG has had some fantastic plays all across the court here. And just everyone's really played a role in supporting the Cavaliers on their offensive. All they need to do is tighten up the defensive side quite a bit here, and they will walk away with this win, roll away with it, drive away with it, whatever you want to call it. They are well on their way to it. Doubt, long clear, Mr. Manly Hands has to contend for, but it's given up. Back to Raid. Weeb Sprite across the width of the field. Doubt has control, has a chance, is dangerous, past Double OG. Mr. Manly Hands takes it away, but is not quick enough to the next punch. 1, 2, uppercut. Raid there to take out the rest of Herculaneum.
The Cavaliers securing their spot in the winner column for this series in round 4 of Swiss. Feel like we saw a little bit of everything in this abbreviated watch party of the series. A win for both squads, but Cavaliers getting the one that matters most. Game 5, when it all comes down to it and shakes out as such, they get the victory. An emphatic one, 4 goals the better in the USMC